life.
Yeah, I literally, in the first month and a half, I showed up to shoot one scene, and that was my introductory. Yeah, and I was super happy, but it's funny because the trajectory of my character in the show literally mirrored what was happening in real life outside of the show.
So, coming in, and granted, you guys, until you guys heard the show was still in the air, and that you guys were actually in the auditioning.
Hey kids, I cut you off.
At that point, did you feel like there was any pressure at all stepping into these roles, knowing that it was at that point, entering its 12th season, that
it was huge pressure for me because I grew up watching the show, so I just, there was a lot of self-doubt was creeping in, like, can I really do this? And then, I got to Auckland and we got to our first table read, and I look over and I see my childhood hero, and I was like, oh my God, is he in the show? And it just got worse, but he was actually a huge help. He was awesome. He was really like a mentor. He was in the show, he was in real life, so made it a lot easier.
It was nice. It was the three of us were like the North American kids on the show. Everyone on that season was out of Auckland, so we found ourselves taking day trips, weekend trips, and just exploring the city together. Because if you live in a place, it's your backyard, you don't see it in the same way a tourist or a traveler does, right? So we had a really great bonding experience during that whole period while he was there. And to answer the question, I didn't have any pressure because I missed the show, but I was really happy about that. I didn't want to shake in my White Ranger suit.
If at any point in time here during the panel, if you guys have questions, just raise your hand and we'll happily go to you guys. Your reason we're on.
Sorry, just a quick question. Since the new Power Rangers movie is supposedly starting to come out somewhat soon or eventually, what are you guys' thoughts on Jason being the bad Ranger? Not like Green Ranger bad, but like full-on bad Ranger.
Are we talking about the Shattered Grid stuff?
Yes, that's it.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's really cool.
Yeah, I think it's great. I like his suit. It looks like mine.
It's kind of like it's like they kind of threw in the Green and White Ranger. It's like they just threw in the Green and White Rangers from suit from back then, and it just
kind of
mashed it together. That's what I got from it.
Cool.
Yeah. As the show started, how much leeway were you guys given in terms of trying to forming Trent and Ethan? Were you guys able to inject your own personalities in there, or did you have to stick to what was on the script?
As far as your lines, you kind of really have to stick to what's on the script, but you always try to inject a little bit of your own flair and personality into certain characters that you play. So my goal with Ethan was to make, I knew he was a computer nerd, but I wanted to make him super comfortable in his skin, yeah, I'm a nerd, and so what? Why can't that be cool too? So that was kind of my main goal.
Yeah, I was, obviously, we couldn't change any of the lines. I also was adamant to not enter into Trent's character and play him like the stereotypical White Ranger, which is the new guy comes in and he's the rebel, and he's the bad guy, because I started off as a villain essentially on the show. I wanted him, because he was he was an adopted kid, I wanted him to be someone who was just trying to fit in and show his best face, but he had a lot of baggage, and that would come through. And so when the gem affected Trent, I wanted it to be his demons coming through, his fears coming through, and that would drive the evil portion of my character.
How much time was there between production and that ending and air? Do you remember? Was there much time where you kind of had
I think we were about halfway through filming when it aired.
when it finally started?
They aired the first
Because
episode.
by that point they had spaced out episodes.
Yeah. So we were still filming when the first episode.
So you were able to get feedback.
Yes.
While you guys were still in production.
Oh yeah, we were getting fan mail while we were still working doing the thing, which was awesome because that just reinforces the fact that you're doing a good job. Because again, sometimes you doubt yourself, you're human. But it was really nice to receive those things, especially for me, somebody who grew up watching the show. That meant the world.
Yeah, it's strange. This was right before social media started taking off. So we had a lot of people with cameras trying to spot the actors and trying to figure out what was going to be happening in the season. It's a very thing. I even know even after that first episode, most of my shots were indoors because they didn't want to release who I was going to end up being until later on. So everything had to be hidden under wraps. It was a super exciting time.
Talk a little bit more just about working with Jason David Frank. I mean, he did so many years on the franchise, to start the first 5 years or so, and then for him to come back not just on a one-off episode, but to commit to a whole season, and the expectations that possibly come of that from fans watching the show. What was that year like in terms of building that relationship with him and
Well, again, for me, it was amazing because I grew up watching him. He was my favorite Ranger. But I think from a fan's perspective, it was really good because a lot of people said that they kind of stopped watching the show, and our show is kind of what brought them back into it because our show is an homage essentially to the originals, with the blue being kind of the computer tech guy, the red being the athlete and the leader. Like it was very similar, right? So I feel like our show had a big part in drawing back a lot of fans back into the franchise, which is amazing. And Jason's awesome. So awesome. And he's a prankster too.
He's a super prankster.
I think he got you.
Do tell.
Probably got
Yes.
the most because I had the nicest suit.
Yeah.
But it was such a great. It was great to just meet Jason as a guy named Jason, not as, oh my God, this is Tommy Oliver. You know what I mean? We got to bond on a different level because there was no pretense to it. No.
And coming from a martial arts background, having someone like him who created his own style, he's 8th level.
Yeah.
Just having
An
that
absolute
as a
pro.
peer.
Absolute bro.
Absolute pro.
And working with someone like that, it just forces you to be at your best.
Yeah.
Because you gotta keep up. He's just so good. It's like, he forces you to be better, which is awesome.
Yeah, I remember I was training with him a little bit at the start. Not the martial arts, just the weight training and the running, and he kicked my butt so hard that I refused to do it after. I was like, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this with you, Jason. I can't. It's hurting me.
We talked about the fans. What are some of the favorite fan interactions you guys have had over the course of the decade? Since the show.
So there was a big space in between us ending the show and me doing my first convention. And at my first convention, I was meeting some of the fans, and I didn't think that we had such a big impact on people's lives as we do. And a fan came up, and he was just like, your character helped me so much. We had so much in common. I wanted to commit suicide. And your character, there's one episode where I deal with a bullet, and he's like, that episode in particular, helped me deal with the things that were going on in my life and stop me from committing suicide. And he broke down and started crying in front of me, and I cried too. At my very first convention, I cried. So that's just one interaction that will just always stay with me, and it's just something that's so amazing. Because without the fans, we don't have a job. So it's really awesome.
Yeah, these moments happen. I remember always wanting to do important work, and I never thought Power Rangers was part of that, And then going to do our first convention and see all the people that you affect on such a deep level. I think it was a 6th Ranger panel. I did this panel at HawaiiCon in California, and this young guy wanted to come up, and he was already crying. He just wanted to give me a hug because he said I saved his life. Exactly, at a very specific moment in a scene in an episode where he was really questioning, how much longer he wanted to go, and because of something that I did in that episode, it gave him the strength to just keep going and becoming an amazing artist out of it. And most recently, which is very weird, because in Canada there is absolutely 0 star system. You're just a guy who's trying to act, and I love that. But I was with my mom 2 weeks ago, and I met her for lunch, and it was by a college campus, and some guy was just beside me, and he just tapped me on the shoulder. He's like, "Are you Jeffery Parrazo?" I was like, "I am." this guy's weird, you know. And he's like, I just watched you, because I did the team up, the 25th anniversary, I was in that just aired a few weeks ago. And he's like, I saw you in that, but DinoThunder was one of my favorites. Like, what are you doing here? It's like, this is my hometown, you know. I live here for the most part, except when I'm working away. And my mom was there. I could see out the corner of my eye how proud she was. More important than, you know, me doing important things in life. It was someone knowing who I was. An absolute stranger, you know. That was really special to see my mom catch just a little glimpse of you know, her son's success.
It's one of those things too. You think you're just doing a regular job. You know, you think you're just doing a show. You're acting. To find out later on you have an impact like that on someone's life. It's just there's no greater feeling.
It's inspiration.
Yeah.
It's funny because they always look at us like heroes, and I look at all the fans like heroes because it keeps the fire under my blood.
What do you guys do for fun? What are your hobbies when you're not working?
I like to play video games actually. I like to travel. Go to sporting events. I'm a huge soccer fan. Like I got up at 4 in the morning this morning to watch my favorite soccer game. So yeah.
I'm a traveler. I love moving. I used to play hockey semi-professionally until I woke up and realized I was far too short to be a professional. I'm a photographer. I love getting behind the lens. When you're in front of the camera, you sometimes tend to feel insecure about what you're doing. But behind the camera, I have absolute power, and I love that feeling. So I mostly spend my time traveling and taking pictures of whatever I want. You know?
Have you broken out the camera in Hawaii so far?
Absolutely.
How do you find?
I had it around my neck except for one day, and we walked in on about 6 turtles just hanging out on the beach, and I was dying.
One time he didn't have his camera, we saw like 6 turtles hanging out.
That's
scratching his head.
Honestly, I died.
To be honest, you should be more because
Melted in the bay. I'll be there permanently just with the lava. It'll never leave.
As rangers, you guys have been inspirations to a generation. What inspires you? Who inspires you?
Fans who watch the show and you know give me a chance to do what I love. I appreciate them so much.
Yeah, like we said earlier, the fans really set a fire under my butt. If I could say one celebrity that inspires me, it would have been Anthony Bourdain. But since he's passed now, that inspires me. Free speech inspires me. Free movement inspires me. Really good food inspires me.
Where would you guys like to see your current trajectories continue on here?
Just to keep working. I mean, as an actor, that's the end goal. It can kind of be a tough industry at times, but to keep working. And I'm doing a lot of voice work now for cartoons, so I'd really love to be able to do more of that. I enjoy it so much just because you can do so much more with your voice for me personally than you can in front of the camera. Like, I can be a 6-year-old kid with my voice, but can't really do that in front of the camera. I'm a little too old.
Yeah, I think just to keep working, and I'm not talking at some, you know, A-list celebrity level. I just want to keep working. For anyone that wants to act, even like, you know, anytime you turn on the TV, you are watching actors making money, doing what they love doing. So if anyone tells you you can't do it, it's an absolute lie. Just to keep working, maybe at a gallery one day.
Would you give any advice to like kids that maybe not necessarily wanting to be Power Rangers themselves, and they're just, you know, are looking at the acting profession as something they want to do? What advice would you give them in terms of how to start out?
Just to, you know, hone your skills in that craft. Give it your all like you would any other job. You know, if it's something you want to do, put 100% into it. There's no reason you can't do it.
Yeah, just work at it. Don't worry about getting agents. Just join your local theater, take local workshops, make a lot of mistakes, because the best things come. from learning from your mistakes. So you can't be hard on yourself. You gotta take it with grace and just play, because that's what we do. Is we just play.
Play make believe.
Yeah. And again, if anyone tells you you can't do it, swear at them.
Were there any specific character moments over the DinoThunder season that you guys are proud of? For your characters, or even for the group as well?
I'm really proud of my first fight scene. Just because I loved how it came out, and I was nervous that if I would look like a martial artist, because I'm really not. And
How much
also,
training did they give you prior to?
we did a month and a half, I believe, of martial arts training before we started filming. And there's a scene where I'm on a date with Katrina Duhaney, who plays Cassidy on the show, and we're on this like giant cliff, and I'm terrified of heights, and I had to do like a fight scene on this cliff, and so I'm super proud of that moment too.
I think I'm proud of the arc that my character went through, the White Thunder arc. It was a 3 or 4 part series where the jump starts taking over me. I'm really proud of that. I really loved how that turned out. Yeah, and just accomplishing it at the end was another proud moment that I survived it.
With this year being the 25th anniversary of Power Rangers, what legacy do you think it has in terms of how it's affected not just fans, but TV landscape in general, and what does that mean to you?
I think it's a super positive show, and it's great for kids. Teaches you a lot about life and growing up and being a teenager and just dealing with that whole part of your life, because it can be tough. So I think Power Rangers is super important for that. And yeah.
I agree with Kevin. I don't think I can add to that. I look at Power Rangers like, do you guys know Degrassi? Degrassi Junior High, do you remember that? I look at Power Rangers like the superhero equivalent to Degrassi. Yeah, lots of good lessons. And I can't add to what Kevin said.
For lack of a better word to use for the pun, I think it's morphed into the first couple of years. I think as big of a hole as it had on fans the first couple of years, I think it was often maligned in the industry in terms of it being taken seriously. And I think as time progressed, the stories and the emotions, that are shown in those stories and life lessons, like that was pushed more to the forefront. It was less about how do we blend these American actors with this Japanese footage. And,
right. And I think that's super important, especially for a children's television show.
Yeah, agreed. I feel blessed that we were part of the Disney era, because they took character and storyline and themes very, very seriously. So yeah.
Okay, you guys talked about fans fanning over you. You're sitting in the green room, and another actor comes up and goes, "Oh my God, it's you!" Or flip that around, you walk into the green room, and here stands.
Who's the actor that would make me?
Yeah.
Probably Al Pacino or Tom Hardy.
In all honesty, I don't flip out on actors, because we're all just people. Trying to act is tough for everybody, no matter where you are. But musicians for some reason, I'll definitely lose my cool around. And I find that it's such a hard craft to just stand up there and sing. And in order to affect people, you're singing from like within. And I can never do that. I have a big absolute fear of that. So when I see like musicians that I respect, I generally my name is Jeff.
He actually did that in New Zealand.
I did do that.
His favorite band was staying in the same building as him.
Yeah.
He wanted to say hi and he didn't.
I did.
There's more to that story.
Yeah, no, I was living at a hotel out there called the Metropolis, and all the major gigs that come through the city stay there. And at the time, I really loved the Strokes. I just thought Julian Casablancas was a genius, because his wordplay is amazing. And sure enough, I get dropped off. I have all the scripts in my hand. I see them. I'm like, I'm gonna say hi. I'm gonna do this. Like, why not? And I walked up, and they was walking up, and I went, and I just kept walking. I went upstairs to my room, called Kevin. I was like, I can't believe I did this. I didn't. And that was it. We watched them perform, and it was great, but yeah.
Did you ever go by and say hi, or just?
No. And you never know. Like, I missed an opportunity for something. We don't know what that something is. I chickened out. Never chicken out. As most actors, artists, you might feel like somehow they're going to be annoyed. And, you know, if they're in the washroom, perhaps. But for the most part, it feels good. It's nice that someone acknowledges you for something you've done. You know. So don't make one mistake. That's what I'll say.
Sorry, just to add on to that, if you ever did run back into them, would you do it?
Yeah, I would. I'm thinking that now. I probably would, because now I have this funny backstory.
Yeah.
So I'm getting the same phone call. Hi.
Morning.
Good morning. Who do we have here?
People.
This is a platelet, and this is a platelet.
Hey,
Where's the hat? Come on, where's her hat?
No, this is Eli and Kaya. Mom.
Hi, Mom. Eli and Kaya?
Yes.
So, what do you guys have, any projects that you guys are working on right now? Or kind of in the?
Yeah, I did a couple seasons on some new cartoons. I did 2 seasons on Total Drama Island. I don't know if you guys know that.
I do.
I do the voice of Cameron on that show. I did a new show called Looped that's on Amazon Prime as well, and I'm just starting a new show called Spongo, Fuzz, and Jalapeno, and I do the voice of Fuzz.
Yeah, I just finished, I'm doing, you know the show 12 Monkeys? I did 12 Monkeys, I was going to say just wrapped on this project. I was on Molly's Game, which was just in theaters. That's Aaron Sorkin's film. That was a really great experience. And trying to get our film that me and Kevin co-wrote into the marketplace called TraumaCon right now. I'm a filmmaker.
You guys have any questions?
Given the fact that you guys are at least well enough versed with the whole Ranger universe, if you had any choice of any Ranger over the entire Rangerverse, what Ranger would you guys choose to be? I mean,
The Pink Ranger.
which one? From the original, I'm guessing.
If I had to choose, probably the original White Ranger.
Oh, steal Jason's spot then.
All honestly, I wouldn't want to steal anyone's spot, but I can tell you, I would feel like it would have been really amazing to be part of the RPM cast.
Oh, yeah, that's
I
pretty
really
good.
loved the idea behind that storyline, and all the actors were amazing.
Super awesome.
Yeah, they were all really, really great guys.
Great.
What is your favorite Power Ranger show?
I grew up watching the original, so the original Power Ranger series was probably my favorite. I kind of stopped watching after that. And then after our show, I would probably say SPD. It was really cool.
I think for me, I think we're roughly about the same, give or take a year. And for me, it was like after the Zordon arc was done, I stopped for a while. But then I came back.
I mean, as a kid, I was just so invested in the original characters that once they started to change, it just wasn't the same for me.
The awkward silence.
I don't know, I worked on DinoThunder, so I'm going to have to go DinoThunder. But again, you heard me say RPM, I thought that would have been really fun to be a part of. I'm sure that show was really good.
Oh, sorry. Are those the actual helmets from DinoThunder, or is that just like replicas? This is like a 2-parter question. That's why.
Not the truth, or the lie.
Both, actually. I like both.
These helmets were based off stunt helmets.
Okay.
So they're original replicas.
Okay.
They make like 30 of them a season. So there's not one original helmet. There's many.
Okay. Okay, so for the second part, can you both fit the helmets?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
Don't look at me. I don't know if I'd even be able to fit into either of them.
I'm always tempted about putting this on. We have to wear helmets when we ride our motorcycles back home.
Yeah.
I'm always tempted to wear helmets.
Did you?
It's so hard. No, I haven't yet.
Oh damn.
I haven't found the right straw. Because it's so hard to breathe in.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I wouldn't want to ride my motorcycle and then fog up on me. But with the right straw, you can bend it down and just let it hang below.
So that way you can kind of like
I
breathe.
found one that was like sturdy enough, you know?
Can you try to do the voice of Cameron from Told Your Lie?
Sure, I can do it anytime you want.
Yeah.
How's Hawaii been treating you guys?
I want to live here. You guys got a job for me?
Your construction.
Whatever you need me to do. Dig, I'll dig.
Yeah, it's true. It's wonderful. So this beautiful thing that everyone here has made us feel like family. I think that's the thing here. It's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
The aloha spirit.
It makes you want to leave your family.
Yeah. And the turtles.
Have there been parts of the island you've been able to explore outside of the resort here over the last few days, or been able to get offside at all?
Yeah, like was it our first day or second? Our first day, we were on our way to Walmart, and we saw the lava tube caves on the side of the road, so kind of just pulled over and did that. And we went to see the petroglyphs as well, and the historical site where King Kamehameha.
Yeah, those are the places we've seen. We want to see more. Fortunately, because the hurricane was coming through, we never had the opportunity to get over to Hilo, see some of the stuff out there.
Yeah, it's pretty bad out there.
Yeah, although it perhaps would have been fun to be in a big, giant, lifted truck to explore it during that time. We just couldn't get our hands on a giant 4x4.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I feel like I'm almost the only one doing it.
We got about
If
4 minutes.
yeah, probably a little bit. I watched it from the original all the way to at least I think part of Megaforce, and then afterwards I kind of died out on it a little bit. I don't know. But if you two had the chance to reprise your characters, and let's say like how they did with Jason with DinoThunder, if by some chance they decided to bring you guys back, would you guys do it?
100%.
Yeah.
For me, once a ranger, always a ranger, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
I went back once, a few weeks ago. I'd be happy to do it again. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
If it was like a reprisal season where it would be like a full year commitment, you'd still do it.
Yeah.
It's Auckland, New Zealand. I would love to live there again. Auckland's like a second home to me. I loved it there so much, and even after all those years when I went back to shoot the reunion episode last year, I was away from that island for 15 years,
Mhm.
and I got back there and I smelled the air and I felt like I was at home. You know, it's a special place.
Sorry. This is sort of like a slight side bit, but given how they've kind of always, in most cases, in most of the series, placed like the Rangers' hometown somehow in California for some reason, almost all of them. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Like thinking about it now, what are you guys' thoughts on it? Like just being in like one general location like that. Like if they could have put like the hometown of any of the other Ranger shows anywhere else in the world, like where would you guys have thought it would have been, if anything?
We should do a Hawaiian ranger team.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of a tradition, right?
Yeah, and you know, I've never thought about it like that, you know? California is kind of like every person's city who watches TV. So, it's just...
It's like a default option, I guess.
It's absolute default.
Would you guys work on a Hawaiian Power Ranger fan film?
Absolutely.
100%. I'd work on most projects here as long as we're writing
truck.
You got a job for it?
possibly as a senior project.
It's crazy because I have my work papers. Just saying.
So what will you guys take from this trip and the experience here?
A dream to come back is what I'm going to say. I really loved it here. I would have never thought to come to Kona. You know, especially from Toronto. You think of just going to Waikiki.
Yeah, like
maybe
just
Maui. If you want to do that kind of thing, right?
yeah.
I never thought of coming here, so this is another beautiful opportunity that doing conventions gives you. You know, like we get to put our needle print in the map, places we wouldn't think of going, and then to be surprised by how nice it is, or how amazing, how warm it feels, or how comfortable it is.
I'm so blessed to be able to be here. It's such an amazing island. My first time. I mean, the little things are still getting me, like looking up at the sky at night and seeing all the stars. Like I don't get to see that back home.
Yeah, a lot.
There's so many things that you guys might be used to that for me are just breathtaking, and I wish I could stay longer.
If anything, it still captivates people here. Even if we're living here for our whole lives, it still does it.
It's gorgeous.
I was telling these guys and a few other people the other night that my body's never felt so balanced, and I can't even remember how long I felt so balanced here.
And another thing I'll take from here is just, treat everybody that you meet like family. And that's like one of the greatest feelings in the world when you meet someone and you just automatically have that connection with them. You feel super comfortable with them. You feel like, it's a family member. So that's something I definitely will take from you as well.
I talked to you guys a little bit before you guys came out here, and I think I said to you the island will change. Do you agree that that's
100%. 100%.
I think the island just brings out the best in me. I don't want it to change.
Well, it changed you when you came across those turtles for sure. It changed you when you forgot your camera met those turtles for sure. No.
Since these dogs been being, I'm telling you,
Yep.
a little bit of my soul melted.
Did any of you guys ever get to any cons on the mainland?
Afraid not.
No. You guys have no idea how good you have it here. The first time that you got hit with these guys,
We shoot around.
We've been doing conventions for the past 3 years all over the place, and this is by far the best convention I can say.
It's most intimate. You get to really interact with people.
Yeah.
On the mainland, generally, you're being ushered around, protected, and hidden from everyone
Yeah.
until it's your time for viewing. Here it's not. This is like one of those. You know those zoos you get to drive around and walk out, step out of the car, and you get to hang out with the animals?
Okay.
That's what this is. At home, it's like you pay for your ticket, and you get to look at them from behind a big glass window and be like, oh look, he's scratching his back. She's swimming. This is the opposite. This is the walk through zoo. The walkabout zoo. I love it.
I don't want to seem selfish, but one of my friends, he loved you guys. Like, your season was his favorite, and I missed it about like a year, but SPD, that one episode was great. But you were all his favorite season, and you were his favorite ranger. I was wondering if I could maybe just get like a little message.
You know what would be better though if we got a message by the table? That way we could be closer and we can interact with each other. Is that cool?
Sure.
Yeah. What do you want me to say?
Say, hey Nick, have fun at air riflery.
Air riflery?
Riflery. Yeah, he loves to shoot at air targets.
Hey Nick, have fun at air riflery. Have fun with those paper targets, buddy.
Hey Nick.
I could do that too for my He was like really mad at me for coming here. Like, he's like, this is my favorite series.
Now, who is that?
Why are you going and leaving me at home?
Wow.
Yeah,
Why did you leave him at all?
Why did you leave him at home?
I could FaceTime him.
He's gonna hate you even more now.
Well, he's gonna be happy because he's like, can you at least FaceTime me? We'll all say hi.
Question.
Your opening was so amazing. I can cannot even remember the word.
Oh, really? I can't remember the producer.
He literally sang that at home. He's like, this is my favorite opening.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this, my show. Okay.
The only words I can remember is there's a light in the distance.
There's that.
See, this coming closer.
Yes.
Hi, Sky.
With the force of ages.
See them?
What's your name? Give me your phone. What's your name? Hi, Sky. I'm Jeff. Don't.
Hi, Sky. What's up, man? You're rubbing your face a lot. You okay over there?
What are you doing? Why are you here?
We all, brother. We all.
Okay, we'll hook you up with some things. Alright, yeah. Your sister? Yeah, if your cousin doesn't mess this up. Alright, I'm gonna be back to that.
So happy.
Any other questions? We've got 2 minutes left, otherwise that may be a perfect way to wrap things up.
You were talking about you almost didn't sign the contract or
Yeah.
waited 2 months. Is there one that you went, don't really like the script, and then go back and go, crap. Wish we had signed that one.
That's happened to me a few times.
That hasn't happened to me. I really say no.
I have said no to 2 things, and I don't regret them, but I do regret them. It's funny, when you're in LA and you say no to something, they want you more. Because like, wow, he has backbone, he didn't like that. Wow. But in Toronto, when you say no, they're like, he doesn't want it. How disrespectful it is. And it's like, it's terrible. You want me to chase a frog around shooting him while he's shooting me with laser beam eyes? I don't want to do that, really. Yes, I've said no a few times, and maybe I regret one of them. But at the end of the day, it is what it is.
So what was it?
I don't even remember.
The only time I've ever had to say no is because I was working on something else already at the time. But one of them I wish I could have done, and it was a song movie.
And I do remember it was Orphan Black.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good.
Orphan Black is a good one, I know. This is the thing, I worked with Tatiana on a movie a few years before, and she got this, and I read it, and I was like, this can go somewhere. I didn't necessarily like the part I was being offered.
What was
So I wanted to hold off, because it was literally like the first episode, they were throwing this to me. I was like, this is going to go on for a while. I never got another audition for that show.
I have a question. What was that part, anyways, if you remember it?
It's not memorable. So I don't remember it.
I hope it wasn't like Felix's, the other half that walked out. No, I'm just joking.
How much longer are you guys staying on the Big Island?
Well, if you find Kevin a job, he's staying indefinitely. And that was the same for me. I don't know, we're here till Monday or Tuesday, right?
Yeah, Monday night.
Oh, you guys are just gonna miss the national park opening up again.
Yeah, we keep hearing that.
Yep.
Thank God we have YouTube.
I don't know. I think they're adding on something like a new feature to the park because they just bought it, like some kind of like some kind of giant crackway that opened up in Ka'u. They bought that up, I think.
You don't know how funny that sounded to me. They opened up a new crack
Yep,
that they're gonna, drop everyone into.
pretty much.
That is time for today. They are talking again tomorrow. We'll be
Yes.
up on stage tomorrow as well. So
What time are we here? 2?
anybody who's out on excursions, let them know.
Yeah.
That's what we fill the place up tomorrow.
I'll tell them to raid the HawaiiCon then.
Thank you guys for coming and keeping us company.
Thank you so
I've been
much,
very
guys.
lonely without you here.